Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, fellow survivors of the internet age. We are gathered here today to mourn the loss of someone we all once knew, someone who guided us through life's chaos, someone who kept us from doing shit that would land us in a hospital or a viral YouTube fail compilation. We are here to honor common sense. Nobody knows exactly when common sense was born. Maybe it was the first time a caveman decided not to lick the fire, or when someone realized, hey, maybe throwing rocks straight up is a bad idea. He's been with us for thousands of years. He taught your grandma not to stick a fork in the toaster, told your grandpa not to fix electrical wires with wet hands, and whispered in your ear when you were about to do something epically stupid, hey, maybe don't. But over the past couple of decades, common sense didn't just get sick. He was terminal. He didn't go out in a blaze of glory. No, he died slowly, painfully, one brain cell at a time, suffocated by hashtags, outrage culture, and people who think Google makes them smarter than doctors. Man, every TikTok challenge where some dumbass ate laundry detergent, that was a stroke for common sense. Every time someone sued a fast food chain because their coffee was hot, common sense lost another lung. He tried to hang on, he really did. But it's hard to survive when you live in a world where people believe the earth is flat, vaccines contain microchips, and 5G towers are part of an alien invasion plan. Back in the day, warning labels were short and sweet, caution hot. That's it. Now, they read like a dissertation because somebody out there actually tried to bathe their cat in boiling soup. We've got labels on irons that say do not iron clothes while wearing them, hair dryers that warn you not to use them while sleeping, peanut butter jars that say contains peanuts. These aren't jokes. These are legal requirements because some jackass out there proved they needed to be said. And social media was the final nail in the coffin. In the past, your stupid opinion stayed in your head, or maybe it got laughed at by your friends in the garage. Now, you can post it online and immediately find 1,000 other people who share your brand of brain rot. You think the moon landing was faked? Boom, there's a Facebook group for that. You think lizard people run the government? Congratulations, you're now in a Telegram chat with 20,000 other tinfoil hat enthusiasts. Common sense tried to warn us, he whispered. Maybe don't believe every meme you see. But people said, nah bro, I saw it on a YouTube documentary, it's real. And common sense started coughing blood again. It's not just about being wrong. People double down now. You could show them video evidence, scientific proof, and a handwritten note from God himself, and they'll still go, yeah, but I feel like, oh, you feel like? Wonderful. I guess we'll throw centuries of knowledge out the window because Chad's gut feeling says otherwise. And we reward this stupidity. Back in the day, the village idiot was, well, the village idiot. Now, they've got 1 million followers, a merch line, and a podcast where they share their truth. We put them on reality TV, let them run for public office, and call them influencers. Common sense didn't just die. He was replaced by his evil twin, clout chasing. Think about it. In a world with functioning common sense, nobody would stick their head out of a moving train for a selfie. Nobody would film themselves licking a public toilet seat for likes. Nobody would think it's a good idea to cook chicken in NyQuil because some random Twitter account said it unlocks the flavor. But here we are. And before you think I'm just pointing fingers, we've all had our dumb moments. I once microwaved an egg without thinking and turned my kitchen into a war zone. But here's the difference, man, I learned from it. I didn't start an Instagram page called at Microwave Big Challenge. That's the problem. People don't just make mistakes anymore, they brand them. Common sense was patient. He forgave a lot. But when people started ignoring experts in favor of some guy yelling into his camera phone from the driver's seat of a 2002 Honda Civic, he started packing his bags. When facts became optional and feelings became proof, he knew his time was up. And now, here we are, standing over the metaphorical coffin. The pallbearers are named outrage, ignorance, entitlement, and clickbait. The priest is wearing a Trust Your Vibes hoodie and live streaming the whole thing for likes. Nobody's crying because half the people here don't even realize he's gone. And the other half are too busy checking their phones. Critical thinking tried to show up to the funeral, but got lost somewhere in a conspiracy theory subreddit. Logic moved to Canada years ago. And reason's been missing since 2016, last seen arguing on Twitter about whether water is wet. The saddest part, there's no replacement. We didn't train anyone to take over. Common sense didn't have kids, he's gone, and we're just okay with it. But here's the kicker. Now that he's gone, we notice it everywhere. People walking into traffic while staring at their phones. Parents letting their kids play on train tracks for cute photos. Drivers turning on their hazard lights in the middle of a freeway because they missed an exit. Every one of those moments, that's the empty space where common sense used to be. And without him, the world is a circus. And the clowns are running the show. Man, common sense didn't just die peacefully in his sleep. No, he was straight up murdered. And the killer? Convenience culture. You know, that seductive voice that whispers, "Why think when you can just have it done for you?" Yeah, that one. It didn't happen overnight. It was a slow, steady smothering with a pillow made of Amazon Prime boxes and Uber Eats receipts. See, once upon a time, people had to figure shit out. If you didn't know how to fix your sink, you asked a neighbor, borrowed a wrench, and maybe even read a damn manual. Now, we Google how to fix sink, and if the video is longer than 2 minutes, we say, nah, too much work, and call a guy. And here's the twist. Half the time, we don't even call the guy he. We just keep living with the broken sink because convenience taught us that problems only need solving if they inconvenience us right now. Remember when going to the store meant going to the store? You made a list, got in the car, and walked the aisles. Now, if the app says delivery will take 45 minutes instead of 30, people lose their shit. 45 minutes. That's unacceptable. How will I survive without my oat milk latte right now? We've traded patience for instant gratification, and in the process, common sense got tossed out like yesterday's DoorDash bag. Even our communication has been dumbed down for convenience. Back in the day, you actually had to talk to people, face to face. Now, it's emojis and TikTok reaction videos. We used to send letters, actual handwritten letters. That took thought, time, and effort. Now, we ghost people by just not replying, as if disappearing is a valid form of problem solving. Convenience didn't just kill effort, it stabbed empathy in the back on the way out. And don't get me started on smart tech. Everything is smart now. Smart TVs, smart fridges, smart thermostats. You know what they've made dumb? Us. We've got refrigerators that tell you when you're out of milk because God forbid you look inside and check. We've got vacuum cleaners that map our house because apparently walking in straight lines was too mentally taxing. Common sense used to tell you to sweep the damn floor when it's dirty. Now, people wait until the Roomba reminds them, like it's their life coach. Convenience culture has also made us allergic to consequences. Amazon Prime messed up your package? Refund. App glitched and you missed a deal? Coupon. Coffee took 2 minutes longer than usual? Free drink. We've been trained to believe that every inconvenience, no matter how minor, deserves compensation. And the more we expect life to cater to us, the less capable we are of handling anything that requires actual effort or thought. Think about cooking. Once upon a time, common sense taught people basic kitchen skills. Boil water, chop vegetables, fry an egg. Now, there's an entire generation that thinks cooking means microwaving a pre-packaged meal and shaking it like a cocktail to mix the sauce. Why? Because convenience said, why learn when you can just scan a QR code and order dinner in 6 taps? Common sense saw the air fryer trend coming and started writing his will. And it's not just about laziness. Convenience has erased learning curves. We don't allow ourselves to struggle anymore. Remember when you got a new gadget and you had to figure it out? You pressed buttons, read the manual, experimented. Now, if the setup takes more than 30 seconds, people return it. We've built a culture where effort is the enemy. And without effort, common sense has nothing to work with. It's like a muscle that's atrophied from lack of use. Man, then there's GPS. Don't get me wrong, I love not getting lost. But we've gone from use it when you need it to I need GPS to get to my own damn house. People don't even glance at street signs anymore. They just follow the little blue line like rats chasing cheese. If the GPS says turn left into the lake, half of us would do it, because thinking for ourselves has become inconvenient. Convenience culture also turned decision-making into a buffet of brainless options. Streaming services? We used to choose a movie and watch it. Now we spend 45 minutes scrolling, paralyzed by choice, until we finally give up and watch something we've already seen. Grocery delivery? Right? Instead of picking the freshest produce, we let some random shopper throw bruised bananas in our cart. Dating apps? Instead of actually meeting people in real life, we swipe through profiles like we're shopping for shoes. Common sense used to guide us through these choices. Now the algorithm does, and the algorithm doesn't give a shit about your well-being. Worst of all, convenience has convinced us that expertise is unnecessary. You can be a chef because you watch cooking TikToks. You can be a fitness coach because you bought a yoga mat. You can be a financial advisor because you saw a crypto meme on Reddit. Why spend years mastering something when you can look the part in 2 clicks? Common sense used to warn us about fakes and frauds. Now we hand them our money because they have a ring light and speak confidently. And don't even get me started on parenting in the age of convenience. We used to have rules. Eat your veggies, go play outside, do your homework. Now it's iPads at dinner, TikTok as a babysitter, and Alexa, play Baby Shark on loop. Common sense would have told you that giving a toddler unlimited screen time is a bad idea. But convenience says it keeps them quiet, so who cares? Convenience culture didn't just kill common sense. It framed him for his own murder. Because now when something goes wrong, people don't think, maybe I should have been more careful. They think, this product failed me. This app is broken. The universe is against me. Accountability has been replaced by a customer service ticket number. And here's the irony. All this convenience was supposed to give us more time. More time to think, to learn, to connect. But instead, we filled that extra time with nothing. Scrolling, binge watching, complaining. The very things that make us dumber, lazier, and more detached from reality. So yeah, common sense didn't just die. He was smothered under a weighted blanket while Netflix asked, "Are you still watching?" And the answer, my friends, is yes. Yes, we're still watching, but no, we're not paying attention. Man, if convenience culture loaded the gun, social media pulled the trigger, and then live-streamed the whole murder in 4,000. I mean, holy shit, the internet gave everyone a microphone, and instead of speeches, we got fart noises, fake news, and people eating laundry detergent for content. Once upon a time, if you said something stupid, the damage was limited. Maybe a few friends heard you, maybe your family roasted you at dinner, and that was it. Now, you can upload your dumbest thought at 2 a.m., and by breakfast, the whole planet has seen it, reacted to it, and memed it into eternity. Social media didn't just make stupidity public. It made it profitable. Look at TikTok. It's a machine that rewards ridiculousness. You post a video of your cat knocking over a lamp, boom, 2 million views. But post something thoughtful like a detailed explanation of how taxes work, and you'll get about 12 views, 10 of which are bots trying to sell you crypto. Common sense doesn't stand a chance when stupidity is the algorithm's favorite flavor. And the trends. Jesus. We went from planking to the cinnamon challenge to eating Tide Pods, like the evolutionary chart of brain cell extinction. Every time a new challenge pops up, common sense is somewhere in the afterlife facepalming so hard he's got a bruise. And the best part? People defend this shit. It's just for fun, they say, while sitting in the ER with chemical burns in their throat. Social media also gave rise to the influencers, those magical unicorns who somehow make a living doing absolutely nothing useful. Don't get me wrong, some are talented. But a lot of them, they're just really good at pretending to be experts. They've got ring lights, filters, and a confidence level so high you start believing them. Some girl with 3 million followers will say, putting raw potatoes in your socks cures the flu, and instead of calling bullshit, thousands of people will run to the kitchen. Remember when common sense used to tell you to check your sources? Yeah, now people fact-check using Instagram comments. Well, a guy named Hotboy420 said, "It's true, so it must be legit." We're living in an era where a random dude with a TikTok username like Yitmaster69 has more influence than scientists who spent decades studying a subject. And here's where it gets extra twisted. Social media doesn't just reward stupidity, it protects it. If you call out someone for spreading bullshit, suddenly you're the bad guy. Let people live. Stop being so negative. Apparently, pointing out that drinking bleach isn't a cure makes you the fun police. The viral nature of this idiocy has also made it contagious. One person tries something dumb for clout, and suddenly it's a global phenomenon. You think nobody would actually do that, and then you scroll down and see 500 copycats. It's like stupidity has its own marketing department. And it's killing common sense faster than a Facebook conspiracy group on election night. And don't get me started on misinformation. Social media turned every half-baked opinion into research. You can literally make up anything, slap some dramatic music behind it, and boom, it's the truth. People share articles without reading them, videos without checking dates, and memes without even understanding them. Common sense used to whisper, hey, maybe verify this first. Now it's drowned out by a chorus of share before it gets deleted. Even the way we argue online has destroyed rational thought. Instead of listening and debating, people just scream in all caps, block each other, and run back to their echo chambers. We've replaced healthy discussion with GIF wars and passive-aggressive subtweets. It's like we took the concept of dialogue and replaced it with WWE promos. Man, then there's the obsession with going viral. People will literally risk their lives for views, climbing skyscrapers without ropes, pranking strangers in ways that could get them punched, or faking medical emergencies just for a reaction video. Common sense used to say, don't be an idiot. Social media says, being an idiot gets you followers. Guess which one people listen to? We've also normalized oversharing to a dangerous degree. People live stream themselves doing illegal shit and then act surprised when the cops show up. Newsflash, if you broadcast your crimes to the world, it's not a gotcha moment when you get arrested. It's justice. But nah, the clout chasers think they're invincible. Social media's final insult to common sense? The way it warps reality. Filters, staged photos, fake lifestyles, all presented as authentic. People compare themselves to influencers who spend hours setting up a casual breakfast shot and then feel like failures for eating cereal in their pajamas. Common sense would have told you that's not real life. But the algorithm doesn't want you happy. It wants you scrolling, comparing, and spending. And the most depressing part, even when we know this is all bullshit, we still participate. We laugh at the dumb trends, we share the clickbait, we feed the beast. We've turned into both the audience and the circus clowns. Common sense didn't just die. We live streamed the funeral and made it trend under RIP Common Sense. Look, man, there was a time when laws existed to keep society from collapsing. Don't kill, don't steal, don't set your neighbor's cow on fire. Simple, necessary stuff. But somewhere along the way, lawmakers decided we needed rules for every tiny, obvious thing, and in doing so, they murdered common sense in broad daylight. You know things have gone off the rails when a coffee cup has to warn you it's hot. Like, no shit, it's coffee. The only way it wouldn't be hot is if you ordered an iced one. But no, now we've got to plaster warnings on everything because somebody once spilled their latte in their lap and thought, "Ichime, maybe I should sue instead of just standing up faster." And the kicker? They won. That lawsuit became the unofficial green light for people to stop thinking for themselves and start outsourcing all responsibility to the system. Look at playgrounds. I grew up on metal slides that could sear the skin off your thighs in summer and monkey bars high enough to give you vertigo. You learned to be careful. Now, everything's wrapped in foam, 2 feet off the ground, and there's a sign saying play at your own risk. Your own risk? The biggest danger now is a splinter from the eco-friendly wood chips. We've bubble-wrapped childhood so much that kids grow up thinking they're indestructible. Until real life smacks them in the face, and they sue because no one told me rent was expensive. And don't even get me started on warning labels. Do you know why hair dryers have "do not use in shower" printed on them? Because somebody, somewhere, thought that was a good idea. Lawnmowers say "do not use to trim hedges." Microwaves say "do not dry pets inside." This isn't protection. This is a confession that we've collectively lost the ability to filter out suicidal levels of stupidity without written instructions. This overregulation bleeds into laws that treat adults like toddlers. Ever notice how some cities ban things like jaywalking while also having crosswalks timed so badly you'd grow old waiting? Instead of fixing infrastructure, they just tell you, follow the rules or pay a fine. That's not public safety. That's lazy governance with a side of revenue collection. And helmets. Oh, helmets. I get wearing one on a motorcycle. I even get it for a bike ride in traffic. But why the fuck does a kid need a helmet to ride a scooter on their driveway? What are they expecting? A sudden, dramatic reenactment of Fast Furious in the cul-de-sac? We've turned basic play into a war zone in our minds, and it's making people so risk-averse they panic when life requires any decision-making beyond paper or plastic. The irony here is that overregulation doesn't just kill common sense, it breeds entitlement. People start believing that if something doesn't have a rule, it must be okay. Like, well, there's no sign saying I can't put my feet in the soda fountain, so. And boom, you've got footage of some moron going viral in Walmart with Mountain Dew between their toes. This attitude infects driving laws too. We have street signs so overloaded with instructions you need a law degree to make a left turn. And if there's no sign telling someone exactly how to merge, they'll just stop dead in the middle of the highway and wait for divine intervention. Common sense used to tell you to keep moving, watch the flow, don't be an asshole. Now people are more concerned about whether they're technically breaking a rule than if they're about to cause a 10-car pileup. Overregulation also creates people who live in constant fear of getting in trouble. Instead of weighing a situation and making the best choice, they just freeze and say, better not, it might be illegal. The result? A generation of adults who need permission slips for life. We've got grown men who won't grill in their own backyard because the Hoa handbook says no outdoor cooking after sunset. Newsflash, that's not a law. That's Karen with a clipboard pretending she's the sheriff. And then there are the nanny state laws that try to legislate morality. Soda taxes, plastic straw bans, healthy school lunch mandates, all while ignoring that people will just drive to the next town to buy a 2-liter bottle of Coke and a pack of straws big enough to joust with. You can't legislate people into making better choices. All you do is push them into finding loopholes, which usually involve breaking some other law. The sad part, all this overregulation has made people allergic to personal accountability. If something goes wrong, it's always someone else's fault because they should have told me or there should have been a sign. We've replaced personal judgment with a checklist, and if it's not on the checklist, people act like the consequences don't exist. And of course, overregulation becomes a goldmine for the people writing the rules. More laws mean more fines, more fees, more reasons to pull you over, inspect your home, or deny your business license because your sign is half an inch too big. Common sense says the rules should protect people from harm. Overregulation says the rules should protect the budget from running out of money. Man, the cherry on top, the way overregulation kills initiative. In the past, if something broke, you fixed it. Now, people are too scared to touch anything because there's a rule saying only a certified technician can tighten a screw. Your sink's dripping? Better call a licensed plumber to replace the washer for $200, because doing it yourself might violate building codes. It's like the system wants you to stay helpless so they can bill you for everything. In the end, overregulation and the death of common sense are like codependent roommates. The dumber people get, the more rules we make. The more rules we make, the dumber people get. It's a vicious cycle, and at this point, I'm not sure which one's dragging the other down faster. All I know is that common sense didn't just die. It got smothered under a 400-page safety manual that nobody reads. Man, if common sense had a tombstone, the epitaph would read, "Here lies common sense." Killed by people who made victimhood their full-time job. Now, don't get me wrong. Real victims exist. Bad things happen to good people, and they deserve help, support, and justice. But in the last decade, a new breed has emerged, the professional victim. These aren't people who suffered genuine tragedy. These are people who hunt for offense like it's Pokemon Go, except instead of catching Pikachu, they're out here catching pity points. The professional victim doesn't solve problems. Oh no, solving problems would mean the end of their career. They thrive on staying in the spotlight of sympathy, feeding off likes, shares, and comment section hugs. They don't want resolution. They want perpetual outrage because outrage pays in clicks, merch sales, and GoFundMe donations. You've seen them. They're the ones who post a 27-minute video about how the barista looked at them wrong and how it's a deep cultural microaggression against their personal identity as a gluten-intolerant, moon sign-sensitive empath. They'll weave an entire trauma narrative out of the fact that Starbucks ran out of oat milk. And God help you if you tell them, hey, maybe it's not that deep. Congratulations, you're now part of their oppression story, complete with screenshots of your comment in tomorrow's TikTok rant. The professional victim is addicted to the moral high ground, and they'll build a ladder out of imaginary slights to get there. They turn every inconvenience into a civil rights battle, every disagreement into an assault on their existence. And the internet rewards this behavior. Outrage gets engagement. Tears get views. The sadder and angrier they look, the more the algorithm pushes their face into your feed. What's worse is how this mindset seeps into everyday life. The moment something doesn't go their way, a job rejection, a bad date, a cashier who didn't smile enough, the default assumption isn't maybe it just wasn't a fit or maybe they were having a bad day. Nope, it's this happened to me because the world is against me personally. And don't think for a second they'll suffer in silence. Oh no, they'll weaponize social media faster than you can say cancel culture. One post, one video, one viral hashtag later, and they've mobilized an army of strangers to harass someone into apologizing for something that wasn't even offensive in the first place. They don't want dialogue, they want a digital public flogging so they can feel vindicated in their victimhood. Man, the real tragedy is that genuine victims get drowned out in the noise. People with actual trauma start getting side-eyed because society's been trained to expect overblown theatrics and performative sob stories. When everything is labeled a crisis, nothing gets taken seriously. It's the boy who cried wolf syndrome, except the wolf now has a verified Instagram account and a Patreon tier called Support My Healing Journey for $15 a month. The professional victim has also mastered the art of moving goalposts. They'll demand an apology, you give it. Then they'll say it wasn't sincere enough. Then they'll demand you donate to a cause. Then they'll say it's the wrong cause. Their end game isn't justice, it's keeping you in a constant state of groveling so they can keep playing the role of righteous sufferer. And here's the dangerous part. This mindset kills resilience. In the past, common sense taught you that life isn't fair, people can be jerks, and sometimes you just gotta eat the shit sandwich and move on. The professional victim teaches the opposite. That every hardship is proof of systemic oppression against you personally, and that you should marinate in that belief until you've squeezed every drop of sympathy and validation from it. This also fuels a culture where people are actively looking for things to offend them. A comedian makes a joke. Boom, outrage thread. A 20-year-old movie resurfaces. Boom, cancellation campaign. A random person on Twitter types something clumsy. Boom, public shaming and demands for their employer's number. The professional victim has turned life into a scavenger hunt for grievance, and they're winning prizes for it. And of course, there's a financial incentive. Outrage is monetizable. There's merch justice for oat milk, there are speaking gigs, my journey through microaggressions. And there are endless opportunities to pivot your victim brand into a niche influencer empire. Forget overcoming hardship. Why do that when you can monetize it? But the worst casualty here is personal accountability. If you're always the victim, you're never responsible for your own screw-ups. Failed your exam? The professor hates you. Lost your job? Management's toxic. Burned your dinner? The oven is gaslighting you. The professional victim has turned self-pity into a bulletproof vest against criticism, even when they're dead wrong. Common sense used to tell us bad stuff happens. Sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's not. Either way, you deal with it. The professional victim says, bad stuff happens, and it's definitely the world's fault, and I'm going to milk this for attention until it stops paying off. And that's why common sense didn't just die quietly. It was smothered under a weighted blanket of endless self-serving pity parties. So here we are in 2025, a world where every inconvenience is a crisis, every opinion is an attack, and every social interaction is a potential lawsuit or viral sob story. Common sense didn't just die. It got replaced by a 24/7 broadcast of grievances, starring the professional victim, sponsored by the algorithm, and binge-watched by the rest of us because, let's face it, outrage is the new entertainment.